You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Black Box After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Black Box After Show.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Welcome to Studio C tonight. You're watching the after show for ABC's Black Box. I'm Mindy Thomas, and here to help me break down episode 4 called Exceptional or Dead are my co-hosts, Teresa Law.
Hello, hello.
And also Jade Howard.
Hello.
All right, you guys, let me first just say, I'm Mindy Thomas, and I would like to just simply share that my first thoughts out of the gate tonight, okay, have to do with, let's see if I can remember them. Pressure moment, high pressure, high pressure.
No pressure at all, no pressure.
Oh man, I tell you what. Okay, so Wanted Dead or Alive, that takes me back to actually the very first episode when the psychiatrist, just a reflection, quick reflection, if you haven't been watching the show, she and Dr. Catherine Black, who is played by Kelly O'Reilly, they were having a discussion in the very first episode about either being exceptional or dead by staying on the meds and this sort of thing. Yeah. So I believe that sort of segues.
I like the way you remember that and you're bringing it back in. Yes. Hashtag TBT. Throwback Thursday.
Thank you very much.
We pay attention to details here.
Yes, detail-oriented over here.
Teresa, I want to hear your details first off, and Jade, we're gonna hit you up here in a minute. So,
okay.
Teresa, what are you thinking? Your immediate thoughts after tonight's episode?
Well, first, I wanted to say that this episode had a really big lead-in with Grey's Anatomy's farewell episode to Sandra Oh today. So it'll be interesting to see how well it does. But overall, I thought, it was a routine episode, but what was cool about it was we got to know the staff a little bit better. We got to know Allie, who's one of their sub-interns, and follow her as she gets more confident in herself, and she realizes she's the one that picks up on Leo's brain tumor. So it's interesting to see how she came across that, and I think it's a good foreshadowing of how she's gonna really excel going forward.
Okay, because these are sub-interns.
Yep.
And they are following the doctors to learn how to become a doctor. And she's learning about Leo, and what she picks up on is quite fascinating.
Right.
Yeah.
None of the other doctors seem to have picked up on that.
Right. And it was just they had such a rivalry between each other because Leo has like this memory where he can remember everything from as a child to what color shirt he had on to anything. And then, so he's always exact and always right, where she always battled with following her heart, so it was like mind versus heart. You kind of can see how she was always intimidated by him a little bit. And then I feel like now she's coming into her own as well.
I believe they called that a superior mind, when you can recall those details.
Hyper memory.
Yeah, and then they hook him up to the machine.
Right,
So,
to see why did they do it? Was just to give her like some ease of why he thinks and functions the way he does, and not to feel intimidated. So it was just to make her feel better, which I thought was really nice of Dr. Black to do.
And he was recalling a childhood memory of the NASA Challenger that was out in outer space, and then she equated the year and said, wait a second, there's no way you would be that age. And so she confronts him, and then he sort of backs off. So we didn't know where that was going exactly.
Yeah. Right. It was like, wait, this guy, let me find out he does not have the memory that he said he does. He's been lying this whole time to everybody.
She's doing her due diligence.
Shame on you, Leo.
Yeah, that's what I really like about the episode. You kind of get to see the characters' layers peeled back, and get to
you saw
know
the
them.
main characters. You've seen their characters develop.
Right.
So it's nice to take a it's almost like a filler episode. So you really got to know the other characters as well on the show. And then I think, I know I'm jumping ahead of myself going into predictions, but I'm sure like, the next episode, it'll go back to the main characters. But you need that. You want to get to know the other characters and know their stories.
Yeah, I mean, all I wanted to do was go to the engagement party all night tonight.
I know.
And I was like, please,
getting
to the
pushed
party.
back.
I was excited for that engagement party. Yes, they were having their engagement party at the restaurant that Will works at, and she made it very clear that the mistress Delilah was not to be on the guest list.
And he had to make his boundary there and say, okay, you need to keep out.
Oh yeah, he put her in her place. That was crazy.
Yeah, they had, a conversation, and he basically said, hey, you can't be here.
It's over.
This is over. And she's like, she doubted him. She's like, yeah, sure, it's over.
And he was like, no, it's over. And she was just like, oh.
And Dr. Bickman was also sort of razzing on Dr. Black for being with the chef in the elevator. And, well, what do you guys talk about in this sort of thing? And was that jealousy?
Heck yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. That was such jealousy. He was just thinking, wait, I'm a brain surgeon, and you mean to tell me that you're with the chef? It's like, yeah. It was interesting when she was saying goodbye to Will, and she gave him that really long kiss to almost provoke jealousy to Dr. Bickman. So it was almost a game. Like you see their game unfolding with each other.
Yeah. I think Bickman realizes, when he finally meets Will, that she has this whole other life. And I think that from his perspective, he sees that there's not really a connection between the two of them. Like Bickman and her have this, weird bond, and they get each other. So, I just think that from his perspective, he doesn't see a match.
Right, he's not picking up on any kind of relationship that they may have had, because remember, she is still lying about the affair. I mean, this is not like what Leo was doing was called confabulation. Confabulation, that's right.
That exists.
Right, so he was believing his own lies from a psychological sense because of a physiological condition, which later was the tumor. However, Dr. Black is kind of, well, I wouldn't say she's a pathological liar, but she's still lying. She's still doing the cover up on this other affair. I guess she didn't want to hit him with both.
It's interesting to see how different Will and Bickman are. Bickman's like really confident, but Will's very protective of Dr. Black in that scene. So
yeah, I can see that.
We'll see how that's going to escalate in the next few episodes, I'm sure.
Right. And then the fact that Will and Delilah do have that working relationship, and then Catherine, Dr. Black indicated that she wasn't jealous by asking about that, but it's clearly on her mind.
It's like, sure.
So then she is wearing her engagement ring, showing off the rock in the bathroom to her coworker, and the ring ends up flying in the sink.
Right. Well, I don't understand. First of all, why are you letting other people try on your engagement ring? Mindy, you have a very nice ring on your finger. If I said, hey, let me try it on, it's that to me is weird. I know it may be because we just kind of met, but still, is that kind of weird to you?
Well, it is.
I feel like she should have been a little bit more protective of that.
But that kind of tells you how serious maybe she really takes their relationship.
Right.
Just letting other people just put on your ring.
And that ring belonged to Will's grandmother.
And then
it's
was
a
it
family
a sign?
heirloom.
Right.
It's a sign. Like these little things are just signs. I don't think anything is put into the show as an accident.
Yeah, because she does not have the ring throughout the entire show.
Lena was playing with that ring a little too long. I would have been like, okay, all right,
she
honey.
said, I want to play a princess. I want to pretend that this is my life.
Yeah.
And I would have been like, yo, chill. This is not, this is my engagement ring. And it just goes straight down the drain. And that's what you get for letting other people try on your engagement ring.
Right. So let's talk about Will and Dr. Black, and where is their relationship right now after watching this episode tonight?
I think right now they're happy.
Okay.
I think
she's on her medication.
Right.
There didn't seem to be any mess ups, so to speak, on that.
I think there was a lot of foreshadowing, though. When she introduced Will to Bickman, she flustered when she said fiance. So, why did she fluster?
We just had a moment.
Yeah, and then her losing the ring, it's not a good sign.
No, that wasn't
So,
first of all, is that really possible? Because they ended up being able to get the ring from the pipe. Does that happen? Because
think
I just
you
feel like that
can.
should have been in a sewer by then.
Oh, okay.
That's so much time elapsed.
Well, I think they can unscrew it. They were talking about pliers and whatnot, and then we were talking also about how Dr. Bickman was getting into the brain with his particular tools, and how that was quite intense, by the way.
Right.
Sort of transitioning from one tool to the other there. But yeah, you gotta have some serious guts to drill on someone's brain like that and try to help them in that way. I mean, this is not. It is different than plumbing. I admire plumbers, but this is totally delicate.
I admire both. Because I can't do either.
Okay.
Seriously, I'm there.
I'm telling you right now, if anything went down the drain in my sink, it's gone.
Excellent
I'd
point.
be in tears.
It's a memory. It's a memory lost.
Yeah.
But luckily, we had the plumber who, eventually had a connection with Lena.
Yes.
So it was fun to
that
see
was hilarious.
that blossom.
Is that a connection
Ali
because
Wong.
she's not getting out much because she's spending all her time at the Cube, and
she
she
was
just happened to
trying
run
on,
into this guy that's like
She's on ScienceNerd.com.
Yeah, she's on. It's like a OkCupid or Match.com or Christian Mingle, but for like doctor nerds.
Yeah.
And they
nerds
sort of
that are
knew
busy.
the same line to the movie and
Oh,
quoted it together.
Okay,
To Lord of the
that
Rings.
was hilarious.
That was
Yeah.
pretty cute.
It was,
That was
cute.
pretty cute.
If you like Lord of the Rings, at the end he quotes something. He got down on his knee. Did you think that was a little too soon?
Oh.
If that was your
That-
first time,
that was a bit much.
We didn't even go on a date. We just were trying to get a ring out from the drain. He
said
you
over
mean to
heels,
tell me
yeah.
that?
Hold up.
Yeah, I should say,
Eager beaver.
never mind.
Yeah.
Well, and one of the other case studies that I think we definitely need to go into is Mike.
Ah, yes, Mike.
Because
Yes.
Dr. Black does not know what these two doctors are talking about as they're walking down the hall, but all she can hear is bipolar symptoms and that they are talking about someone who has bipolar. And so she gets a little paranoid that they might be talking about her, perhaps. But
Right. And then she got very defensive.
oh yeah,
It was overly defensive. To me, that's red flag number one.
yeah. She's emotionally attached to this diagnosis,
Right.
And the doctor, the female doctor, sort of had some attitude with her. That exchange was sort of a new exchange in the show.
Mahmood.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so she's like, haven't you read this book? And I guess they just kind of get into it
I think
sometimes
it's
in
an
this.
office rivalry. I think everybody has that one person in the office that just competes with you for no reason. I've had that experience.
It's the female thing.
Right. And it's trying to, mark their territory on who I think is the alpha female of the cube.
Well, then as it turns out, it's actually a misdiagnosis because they
Right.
find out, well, it's not bipolar. It's actually...
I wrote this down.
It was
Bickman
another
actually
fun
diagnosed
scientific
it
fact.
as cerebral visceritis,
So
which is inflammation of the vessels.
So he just needed to, get a little brain surgery.
They said it was like rats in the brain.
Yes.
right.
And that's what he kept
so-
saying, there are rats in my brain, and that's a symptom. It feels like somebody's just clawing in your brain. So
And
that's what it was.
He was given the wrong medication as a result, and that's why he went
Right.
a little haywire.
Yeah, the medication is what really set him off.
So he already had these sort of violent tendencies as a husband, or was it the sickness that had triggered that?
Right. Well, the reason why they thought it was he was bipolar was because he had lost his job. He was a cop, and then he became a cab driver. And it's one of the
It's a trigger.
which is it can trigger. So they said, oh, this triggered him, and you notice he was acting like hypersexual too. It was almost like exaggerated symptoms of bipolar, just to show the correlation of what we saw in the first episode or first two episodes of Dr. Black having her episodes. It was like
Right.
him, but like on speed. It just
Yeah.
was. It just
We saw that in the
Yeah.
scene in the park when he's playing chess with the man, and he's just
was he
all over
doing?
the place.
Was he actually winning though when he was playing
He actually
chess?
was.
Okay, because I didn't know if he was just one of those people that was playing chess but wasn't really winning and was just making it up as he went
It seemed like he
along.
was because the guy he was playing with, seemed like he was pretty impressed.
Right, and he's I've been playing for 2 weeks. I was like, well, with all that energy, you're doing pretty well for yourself.
Yeah.
Right. Well, it gets pretty intense when he is in the cube because as they're trying to find out what's going on with him, he ends up taking
Right.
that female doctor
Hostage.
Yes.
Code red.
Right.
Code red.
Totally
Patient on the
breaks
loose.
into some glass, pulls out a knife, and I mean, the police are there within minutes. And,
But who came to save the day?
Bickman.
No.
Kelly
Dr.
Riley.
Black.
Oh,
Yeah,
Riley.
Dr.
But
Black.
the Bickman came in afterwards
yeah.
as support.
All right.
I just have Bickman on my brain.
I know.
you got-
that was like a total
Bickman on
dreamy
your
moment.
mind. Yeah, because the way you said it, you were like,
Oh. And speaking of Dr. Ian Bickman, in real life, his name is Ditch Davy. However, he does have another real name, and then he's from Australia. So
that's our fun fact.
that's our fun fact.
Did
for
you know
today.
that? Fun fact. Yes.
From the land down under. So,
Hey.
Awesome.
fun fact.
Yeah,
Love it.
we got some.
We have fun
segue
fact music. Yes.
Absolutely. Well, so Dr. Bickman sort of comes in and he. No. We're back to him and wait.
No, Bickman does.
You guys both have this huge crush. What did Bickman do to you guys
no.
today? What did he say? What did he do? What was it that triggered you, Mindy? Or just,
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Bickman.
He's definitely got some confidence.
He's
so to
the one
speak.
that ended up
Inflamed
diagnosing
confidence.
it as
Yes, he
cerebral.
did.
So he did come in and help support. So I'm not way off.
I see you try to defend it. It's okay. You have a
Yeah,
crush
that
on,
was
on Dr. Bickman.
intense
He's hot.
when Leo is dressed in his outfit and about to do his operation on the brain of Mike, the
Oh,
patient.
yes. How could we forget? Can we rewind that a little bit and
Yeah.
talk some more about that? 'Cause
Absolutely.
That was in...
Yeah.
Yeah, that
was a big mishap on the staff's end.
Talk about
because
malpractice.
How do you let someone, another person come in?
yeah,
Right, because Dr. Bickman was going to perform the surgery on Mike to help alleviate his what was it called again?
It was the actual
the
let me see.
cerebral.
No, that was Michael's.
Okay,
Yeah,
'cause,
yeah,
he
so
was the one being operated on.
So they're looking for Dr. Bickman to do the surgery. Who this nurse is, and maybe doctors need to have name tags because this random nurse comes in the hallway and sees him and says, "Here, you Dr. Bickman?" And
he
since
says, "Yes, I am."
he's like, well, "Yes, I am." Exactly. And then
He was the yes
he
man for the
he
night.
was definitely the yes man. He was the guy you needed to ask to borrow $20 from, and because he would have said yes. And so he goes to do the surgery, and you're just thinking, "No way!"
Yeah.
But thank goodness. I mean, you would never wish this on someone, but in this situation, it was a good thing. He had a seizure.
Right.
Well,
Which he got pretty close.
He was
actually,
pretty close.
drew the line
Oh
on the
my
head
gosh.
and got the scalpel and
let's
was
freak
just
out.
about to.
Dr. Bickman
you know,
totally
cut
barged
into
in
it.
at that moment, and then Leo, he did have a seizure at
Yeah,
that
and he
moment.
passes out. So
which-
thank goodness, because that was just. That would have been kind of cool though if that
Well,
did actually.
It was
kind of
very
happen.
tragic,
Just,
but then they were able
yeah.
to, help determine that he actually had a pretty severe problem that needed to be.
He had a tumor, right?
Confabulation.
Yeah.
So, well, he
Yeah,
had
well,
a brain tumor.
Yeah,
but-
he had a brain tumor, which was causing him to confabulate.
Right.
So
And then with the brain tumor, I guess there's two options. You can either radiate it, but the risk is memory loss, or you can cut it out, and the risk is blindness, I believe.
and so they chose to cut it out, right? Yeah, they chose to cut it
And
out.
Dr. Black kind of goes to bat for him, and she says, "Do you even know his name? He's been working
Oh,
under
I
you."
know, to Dr. Bickman, and of course he doesn't know. He's like, who? I don't know who you're talking about.
Yes,
Yeah.
so she definitely has a
But I think
care
that kinda
also for the people that she works
But
with.
I think that like struck a nerve though with Bickman. I think
Right.
it made him have the hots for her even more because she put him in his place and gave him like a slice of humble pie. And he needed that.
Well,
Right.
and
He didn't
then-
really fight back.
No, he didn't. That's what I'm saying.
He usually
And
has
then
the
that-
last
Yeah,
word.
that
he
is-
usually does. Yeah.
that attraction was reciprocated after
Oh yeah, you saw that.
After
eye
he
contact?
performed the
performed
surgery
successfully,
And they were just looking at each other. And I'm
Owen's
thinking,
like, isn't Dr. Bickman amazing? She goes, yes, yes.
let's get a room. It's about that time, I think,
Oh,
for them.
that
And they
was,
have a
uh,
moment. They're staring at each other.
Right, that's what I thought. We need to see this develop some more.
Yeah, they have insane chemistry.
So I'm just trying to get to the engagement party all night. I mean, again,
Mindy's like, take me to the engagement party now.
Speaking of the engagement party, he called her the day of and said, hey, by the way, I'm throwing an engagement party for you. If my fiance said that without, giving me a heads up, I'd be a little stressed out. And she...
At my restaurant
Right.
where my mistress still works. Why is the mistress still working there? I don't understand that.
Yeah, there's a lot of restaurants in town also, but being the chef, he's got the say so. And then he did bust the moves at the end. You know what I mean?
He totally
Jade's favorite
busted.
part.
That was my favorite part.
How cute was
You
that?
guys like Dr. Bickman. I like me some Will.
Yeah, he's really
like
cute.
Will.
Yeah, it was
cute.
a really. So overall, in terms of the episode, then, how are you feeling about tonight? This is the fourth one. We're moving in. We're learning about the characters, and we're, finding some different favorite connections.
I thought it was, a pretty good episode with the two patients of the week and, one of them being a staff member. I wanted to see more of the Esme storyline, and I wanted to see Vanessa Redgrave. So, I'm sure we're going to see them in the next episode, but I love that storyline. So I wish there was a little bit of that this episode. But again, I really like the Bickman Will introduction. And I think it's just a segue to trouble.
Yeah, one of my favorite lines from Black Box on a previous episode, I believe it was the season premiere, is when the psychiatrist, played by Vanessa Redgrave, since we didn't get to see her tonight, I'll just say it's when she says, the best part of you is who you really are. The rest is a disease. So she was talking on Catherine when she was in crisis at the beach that time. So just sort of a reflection on that line. Since we didn't get to see her, such a powerful actress, and just can't say enough about her. But okay, so moving forward, we need to talk about iTunes. And you can totally connect with us on iTunes, on your PC. You're driving down the road and, listen to us on iTunes. And then
give us 5 stars.
Yeah.
We want 5 stars.
You
Not 4, not 3, not 2, not 1. Definitely not 0. 5.
you can rate the show, review it, let us hear from you. And we're going to
We love your comments.
We
so
do love
let
the
us know what you
comments.
think.
Let us know what you think about the show. If you have any questions or things you want us to go more into, we can do that for you guys. Just let us know what you're thinking and what you're feeling, and we'll tend to it.
Yes.
Yes, well said, well said. And iTunes, it's not really that challenging. You just spend 5 or 10 minutes if you're new to it. It always seems like, how do you do this thing? And
Once you've got it down packed, it's easy as pie, I promise.
that's right.
Yeah, just
that's
search
right.
for AfterBuzz TV, find Black Box, subscribe.
Subscribe, like, comment, all that stuff. And on YouTube, like it, comment, same thing. Share it with your friends and your mom.
Do it.
Yes,
So
share it
Jade,
with everybody.
Let's move into a favorite moment of the night
My,
for you.
Honestly, it was when Will busted out his moves at the
I
end.
knew it.
It was just, it was you know
face
me.
lit up.
I did. I was excited. I was enjoying it. I was like, go Will, go Will. Yeah, no, I liked it. It was fun. It was like lighthearted. It made you laugh. It was pretty. There was nothing really funny throughout the episode, so it was nice to have that light moment and see him dance it out and see them be happy, and everybody was just having a great time. And so it was good to see that.
That was good to see that.
What was
And
your favorite moment?
my favorite moment? Let me think about that for a minute. Let me just ponder. Teresa, let's go to you real quick. I'm gonna just kind of think about it for a moment.
Well, I talked about the Will and Bickman introduction. That was my favorite moment. I also liked the scenes with Delilah. Especially at the end when she's she's outside looking in on the engagement party.
No, and it wasn't like, it was who's that creeping in my window? Like, it was the creepiest thing. And she was, and she shed a tear. Did you see her shed that tear?
It was like that demented tear.
It was the,
She was going into psycho mode.
Super psycho mode
is brewing.
Oh, something is brewing in that heart, and it is shattering into pieces, and that girl is about
She's
to
devastated. And this is the
lose
first
her
time
wrath.
she really let on how upset she is about the situation. She played it cool. When
What
she talked
woman
to
is
him.
okay with that? I'm sorry. Like, so I was your mistress. We had fun. Hey, guess what? I have a crush on you now. And then you tell me it meant nothing.
Yeah.
And she was trying to play it so cool. I knew there is something wrong with this girl. No woman, it's just not in our, That's what you get for one, being the side chick. Number
Right.
2, let's be real here. You're upset. You're hurt. So
Yeah.
you really saw it, but it was angry. It wasn't, oh, I'm so sad. It was, that should be me.
Oh yeah,
It was,
yeah, she
I'm
was
gonna
out for
seek
it.
revenge.
Oh,
and
yes.
Will,
Right.
you're going down.
She's
Dr.
honing in on
Black,
And
you're
Dr.
not-
Black,
what she
too.
wants. Yeah.
Oh yeah. She's
She had the target eye.
Yeah.
She did. And the way they showed it was like the way they panned it out from like the window. You're watching everybody dance and be joyful. And then all of a sudden it goes further back and you're thinking, whose head is that? And then you see her and you think, Oh,
cue the creepy music.
Yes, cue the creepy music. That's
Okay.
also was awesome. Was the creepy music? At the
I will
end.
answer your question now, Jade. I am totally
Yes.
prepared. Okay, my favorite moment, I think, is the moment when Dr. Bickman and Dr. Catherine Black they've had the exchange at the beginning of the show, and she says, "One day I hope you know what it feels like to come home to someone who cares about you."
Yes.
That was a defining moment for
He had nothing to say back to that.
And I'm sure he's thinking, maybe you can come home to me. No,
I
Maybe
don't
you can
know
be
if
my
he's
son.
there yet. Yeah,
Will you
I
be my
mean,
Valentine?
do you think he's there yet?
No, he's
Okay.
not there yet. He's
No.
smitten, yes,
smitten.
but you know.
I think he's acknowledging that this is going to be a harder feat than he had anticipated because everything just comes to him so easy. So I think he's accepting the challenge.
yeah.
Yeah, because she's gonna challenge him full on. I mean, she's not gonna give him an inch.
I don't know, because once she gets off those pills and
Oh,
she's
that's
getting
true.
hypersexual,
It's
then
all
we don't know.
I don't know. He's a hard one to
Mindy.
pass up
Yeah.
if, you know.
I don't have to have any type of
that.
medication. I know you guys won't, especially you. Bickman. Bickman.
We should have
All
Bickman
right.
music.
I know.
Oh my goodness.
Dreamy
Can we
music.
So, any news tonight that we would like to share with the fans out there?
TV News.
I didn't know there's theme music for that. What?
Agent Naomi King, who plays Allie, we saw a lot of her this episode, was just, well, she wasn't just, but she's cast in Shonda Rhimes' ABC show called How to Get Away with Murder.
Yes.
So we are super excited to see her
Really excited.
on the show. And I love anything to do with Shonda Rhimes, so I'm going to be tuning into
And
that.
they gave Shonda a whole entire night of programming. She has all of
deserves
Thursday
it.
night. She totally deserves it. I mean, she's bringing in the ratings and great storylines. So
Viola Davis, too.
yes. Oh yeah, it is starring Viola Davis as well. So excited. I have news too.
Okay, please share. Yes.
Okay, cool. So Jupiter Ascending is a new film that's coming out, and David Ajala is in it, and it's starring Channing Tatum and Mila Kunis. And he had an interview with PopSugar.com, and apparently there was a dance battle that went on the set between Channing and David.
I would have loved to see that.
I know, because we know he likes to dance.
Yeah.
You know, he probably asked. He said, "Oh, can I do that dancing scene at the end?" I am so there. I'm ready for that. Yeah. So he said it was fun and that they were totally good sports about it. He said they asked who won, and he said that it was a draw. So I don't know. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Have you seen Channing Tatum? He was in Step Up and Magic Mike.
Yeah.
He can dance.
He's got
David
moves.
could dance. So maybe it was a draw. Do you think it was a draw, or maybe it was
Ooh, I kind of lean on Tatum.
Tatum? I'm going for
Tatum's
David.
got-
How dare you? You can't turn on David. How dare you?
Tatum's a oldie, but
Yeah, oldie but super goodie.
Yep.
Yeah, wouldn't pass that down either.
All right. Well, very good. Well, let's move on into predictions. Thank you for those news alerts.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV.
Don't you love the studio?
do
It's
love the
amazing.
studio, the lighting. I'm just like
Studio
party.
C, baby.
I know.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. All right. So I'm going to move right into the boyfriend, Johnny, who left her when she was a teenager. She was pregnant, out in the rain.
With Esme.
And yes, Esme was in the womb and she was left in the rain on the side of the road. I believe Johnny is going to come back into the picture at some point. Oh. Okay. So he's going to show up and perhaps have some kind of a brain issue. And this could stimulate even Esme having to look into what she might have going on.
that's a really great one.
Or even if like he wants to be in her life. It comes around and says,
That
I'm her
could be
father. She should
true.
know who I am. And maybe that's how some of the truth comes
And
out.
Esme could also desire, if the truth comes out, well, I've got to meet my real birth father also. So that's
And then she's going to say, well, then who's my mother?
right. And that's when it all unravels.
Oh, in that book, you know, that childhood book, Who's My Mother?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I used to not like that, but I do now. There's a story behind that one, but anyway. Okay, so another prediction I have real quick. I believe that this show might take on, because they're so bold and so brave to really span this scope and I think well define a lot of the mood disorder, bipolar in particular, and then also the fascinations of the brain. But I think they're going to be bold enough to even take on religion and how that could play in with someone interpreting thought process versus heart issues, if that makes sense.
Well, we saw a little preview of
Yes,
next
we
week's
did.
episode, and it looks like the patient thinks that he's
God.
So,
well, there you
like
go.
your prediction
You didn't see that after?
could be coming
You
true.
didn't
You
see
know
that
what?
clip?
I had actually
Check you out, Mindy. You are on it. You
are.
are developing
Good
the
call.
storyline as it comes.
I'm
You,
getting some vibe here.
I know you're getting.
All right, feeling the spiritual vibe coming on strong. So I'm going to be excited to see that next week because that is,
good.
you know, sort of, wasn't it Shirley MacLaine? Anyway, that goes way back. Just check the facts on that. But anyway, how there have been people who have come out and said that, and that's sort of that sweeping statement, like, oh, really? So we'll see how they depict that next week. Okay, so then what would, Teresa, your prediction be for?
Well, I touched on it a little bit earlier ago. I think losing the ring is an unconscious decision to lose the fiance. I mean, I think she would have been a lot more careful with that ring if she was really invested in it. So I think it's foreshadowing that, you know,
She's overall uneasy about the relationship.
and I think Bickman's really going to make her think about the relationship. I mean, I think he's already gotten her wheels turning by saying, you know, you're dating a chef. What do you guys talk about? Quinoa?
And he could play on
So
her.
that was mean.
That was pretty mean.
That was low.
He's bold,
Bickman.
he's brash.
Pretty low.
And he can play on her emotions from that professional perspective. Like, you need somebody that really understands you.
Right.
What are you doing here?
And he gets her and she gets him. So, you know, I think that's going to happen pretty soon.
Okay. Well, there is some bonding continuing to happen
There
there.
is, yeah, definitely.
Jade, what are your predictions?
My prediction is that she's going to get off her meds next episode.
Yeah.
It has to happen.
It's about
We
time.
haven't seen her dance. You know, it's
What's
time.
gonna
It's time for her to
happen?
bust out those
Okay.
moves, and yeah, everything's too perfect. It's too good.
Do you think
She's
that would mess something up at work on?
Oh yeah, definitely. And
Okay.
I can't wait to see that unfold.
Okay.
Because it's fiction and it's not her real life. I would never wish this on anybody in real life, but just for the show's purpose, I mean, that's what I think is what got me so hooked into it. And so I feel like, you know, this was an episode where we had to go into other characters and really get to see their stories. But now I'm ready.
I'm ready to.
It's like Lost. You know, in Lost when you would watch, did anybody watch Lost?
I watched a couple of seasons.
Like Lost, there would be like this really great crazy episode, and then the next episode had nothing to do with the episode you saw.
Yeah,
And
it's
so
very
then you're
contained.
thinking, wait, no, I just spent an hour. I want to get back to that storyline. So it keeps you wanting to see it more. But I definitely think she's going to have an episode in the next episode. Boom, boom, ching.
And on that number, we will segue into the close of the show. But before we do, we would like for you to be able to reach us on our Twitter addresses. You can reach me at Mindy Charlotte. Teresa?
You can reach me at Teresa Law on Twitter and also on Instagram.
All right.
And me.
yes, Jay.
Hey guys, you can reach me on Twitter at Real Jade's World.
And a shout out to Marissa, our producer, who works tirelessly
Yes,
behind
Yes,
the scenes.
and she
Marissa.
added the fun fact music. So
Yes,
props.
you're so awesome. We
Thanks,
so
ladies.
appreciate you. And we hope that you guys out there have a great week. And we'll see you here next week. Tell your friends about it and make sure and stay up with us and connected on Twitter. I'm Mindy. This is Jade, Teresa. We'll see you next time.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.